Okay. Hey, ciao zusammen, der Music Talk hier, live aus Bern, live aus den Studios von DMD2, Producers Tune und hitparade.ch. Unser Gast heute, der schönes sonniges Wetter hat mitgebracht, der hat so vieles. Der hat nicht nur ein fabelhaftes Aussehen, er hat uns nicht nur den Hip-Hop gebracht in den späten 80er, 90er Jahren, er hat uns nicht nur eine wunderbare, coole Performance an den letzten Swiss Music Awards gebracht, sondern er hat auch noch den weitaus schnellsten Internetanschluss ever, den ihr ja wahrscheinlich alle auch wisst, weil ihr auch Fernsehen schaut. Plus hat er uns beschenkt mit ganz vielen coolen Rollen in verschiedenen Sendungen. Bei uns heute Carlos LEAL.
Hello.
Hello. Bonjour. And we have decided to do this interview in English.
Yeah, perhaps it's better.
Perhaps it's better for the both of us because well, that was actually my suggestion that everyone should have the same rights and the same possibilities to have a foreign language spoken. So, Carlos, thank you very much for your visit.
Thank you.
We are not talking about some things I have mentioned in my introduction. We're not going to talk mainly about your movie activities, but we are mainly talking about this one here. And this is a sensational album. I must say, in the beginning, I love it. I really do. It's called Reflections by an artist so-called Leal. So that's by this name you're promoting this now.
Exactly. Well, for me, Carlos was not matching with this kind of music. And also you have to know that leal in Spanish means legal, real.
Leal is real.
No.
It's
real means royal.
Yes.
Leal means loyal.
Oh, right.
So for me, because it's my first solo album and it's definitely a personal journey, it is very honest. So I thought Leal would be the best name to go now for my new musical journey.
Your new musical journey. It's called Reflections, which does imply already that it has lots to do with yourself, a journey to your inner self, probably. And the starting track is called Mirror, Mirror. So how can I understand that? You're looking in a mirror and seeing nothing but yourself, different faces of you, or how can that be understood?
Well, this album is... You can definitely consider it as a concept album since it's really like a journey into a certain world. Of course, this world starts with me facing the mirror and asking myself, who am I, where am I, and why am I doing what I'm doing right now? But this is a journey that everybody can do, everybody should do, and a lot of people are doing it. And then during the whole journey, there's pretty much faces I will see in those mirrors. My
of
faces,
yourself.
My family, my life, my enemies, my fears, my friends, etc. And usually when you take some time in life to stop the train and you take the time to look at yourself in the mirror, if you look at it precisely, you would see a lot of things, not only just the persona that your life built, your education, your family, your work, your obligations. There's a lot there when you look at these eyes. There's a human being, and a human being has a lot of layers.
So you stole away one of my next questions, whether that was a concept album.
I'm really sorry about that.
No, you're really smart. That's it. So what were my next questions? No, not yet. So I was thinking about asking you this, whether that should be considered as a concept album, because it's really a journey. And people that had you talking with them before today were also mentioning that it's kind of like a soundtrack. I mean, that's in a way obvious because you're an actor and you play different characters, different roles. But still, it's of course in a way true that there are different faces, different characters of you that are performed here and that also are presented towards us, the listeners. And how much does this have in common with your profession as an actor? That you have not different roles, but different personalities within yourself that you like to explore on such a record?
Well, first of all, I think we all have a soundtrack in our lives. Our life is like a movie, and there's drama, and there's joy and fun. There's a lot of things. and you can definitely put a soundtrack through your whole life. Me, in the last 10 years, I've been an actor. I was very lucky. I've been traveling a lot. I've been pretty successful as an actor. And this, at some point, I was like changing my costume all the time, jumping from a character to another one. These characters, they taught me a lot. I learned a lot through their lives.
All right.
Yeah, but at some point it's true that as an artist you really want to please the others. So you want to please the director, for example,
Yes.
if you do a movie. For this album in particular, I needed to get rid of all the costumes.
To find you, the real you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To get rid of all the costumes, to face my real you, which is also a pretty complex, like all of us, person. It's not just a naked guy who has nothing. It's a lot of things inside that you can shake. And while you're shaking them, it's obvious that each one of these persons inside of you is coming out with something, with some thoughts.
Yes.
And to be able to listen to them, it's very important, because that means you can become really a friend to each of them. I'm not a schizophrenic. I'm not talking about dédoublement de personnalité. I'm just talking about each human being is able to go in so many different directions. You just have to trust that sometimes you need to follow this way, sometimes you need to follow this way. The most important is to know exactly what you're doing when you're doing it. This is a very philosophical.
But and you not always know what you're doing unless you know it after you have done it. Because I mean, starting with the album, with the initial track, which is called Mirror Mirror, that is very introspective in a way. It's talking to yourself, but it's very, isn't it, in a way, past oriented, because what you have been, where you have been before you came where you are today, but the journey is going to continue, and not in the past but in the future. So where is the journey now heading to? You don't know that already? Or?
Well, that was one journey. There's a lot of journeys in your life, but this journey, for example, for me it was 2 years, and it's true that it started with difficult moments, but then the more you get into the journey and the more there's air and light, you can see a little bit clearer where you are. The album is ending with a song called Dans les yeux d'Elvis, which is definitely very clear. Elvis is my son. My son is me after me. Not me, another human being, but it's my continuity.
Yes.
And my son is showing me the sky and telling me, look, the beautiful light there. And I'm trying to tell my son, no, this is not what you think. I mean, this world is fucked up. There's pretty bad things.
We're just in the Matrix.
Yeah. And he keeps telling me, Daddy, look at the light.
Yes.
So my son is teaching me something.
Yes, he's teaching you.
He's teaching me to be able to look at the light and forget about how fucked up is the world, and just remind me that when you have this child vision, this world can be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Having a small break now, talking about the Swiss Music Awards. You know, there were lots of talks about your album. I mean, you definitely did something with it. You created a big buzz because people are talking about you, about the record. There was a performance on the Swiss Music Awards. It was staggering. I loved it. It was very unusual for Switzerland. As all the things as well are quite unusual. The video clip, the album anyway. How did you experience this performance in front of this audience of very young people mainly, and colleagues from the music business, former colleagues maybe, like Fanta 4 and so
yeah. Well, to be honest, I have to say that first I was very nervous because I haven't been on stage as a music performer for 5 years. I was really nervous. Now, when I heard that I was going to be invited to the Swiss Music Awards, I was, okay, let's be original as my album is. And because my first single is Disco Ball, and Disco Ball
Yes.
is not necessarily representative of the album. It's
No.
one of the many faces of this album, but I decided to go full on. I mean,
Yeah.
if you take the responsibility to do
Yeah.
Disco Ball, then
Yeah,
then,
you need to have a disco performance.
yeah, the full game. So for me, doing like a mise en scène of this
Yes.
character, which is
Yes.
like a dandy, and it's
Yeah.
also part of me.
Yes.
I can be a dandy.
All right.
It was the great direction to take, and I knew anyway that some people would say,
What is this?
the heck? what is this? And some other people would think, oh my god, he's got the balls to do this.
Yes, definitely.
And to be honest, I guess that in the middle of the professionals, yeah, perhaps it's half and half.
Yeah, but
The
who
kids,
cares
they're
eventually?
present. I don't really care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The kids,
Yeah.
they love the music that they hear in the
Yeah,
radio.
sure.
They're happy if they see a star and they can scream.
Yes.
I mean, I was not there for them necessarily. Then if
Yeah.
they want to follow me, I'm really happy.
Yeah, sure.
But for me, it was more to just say hello. I'm back with something different.
You know, Carlos, there was just one thing that I would love to have seen there. That was the mothership. You
The
know,
mothership?
You remember the old times of Parliament, you know, P-Funk,
Ah,
Clinton,
yeah, absolutely.
Wurzeln and the guys. And there was a performance, you know, in the early days, late 70s, there were these P-Funk parties, never-ending 4 to 5 hour
Yeah,
parties.
absolutely.
And then, in the end, there was this big, huge mothership coming down
yeah,
from Earth.
Yeah.
And then George Clinton would exit this mothership.
I
and I
remember.
would think that
George
would,
Duke. George Clinton.
George
sorry,
Clinton.
George Clinton.
Yeah, George Clinton. He would exit this, and this was something that would
Yeah.
have also been very, very cool. I
Well,
mean,
you know, they had their limits.
Yeah.
When I came with my IDs, they were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, really?"
You had
so
such
I
ideas
would
as
have,
well, sure.
I would have loved to bring more craziness into this show, but it needs time.
Yes, sure,
it's a lot
sure.
of effort.
Sure.
So for me, I mean, the spinning and transforming
Yes.
myself into this disco
Yes,
ball
yes.
was what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
I would have loved to take more risks and to go higher with more lights, but it's not okay.
No.
If something
Yes, sure.
happens, they are responsible,
Yes, sure,
etc.
sure.
But
Sure.
of course, if I could do a show and I would have the money to go 100%,
You would do it full.
it would go far. Yeah.
Did you mingle with the people or talk to the guys from Fanta 4, for instance? Because it's
Yeah.
now, I think it's more or less. How long is it? It's 15 years, a bit more, since you did this collaboration with Original.
Yeah,
with them?
absolutely. Oh, you know, we became very good friends, and
Yeah.
of course, when I saw them, we've been sharing our thoughts and
Yes.
souvenirs.
They are
and
so nice people.
they are so cool,
Yeah.
so professional,
Yes.
so great people, down to earth. I love them very much. And so yeah, we've been talking before the show. I couldn't really talk to anyone because I
were
was
too-
too nervous.
Yeah.
After the show, it was a bit more relaxed. And of course, the Fantafir, they all left with this in their hands, because I know these guys like a lot of styles of music. And
They do.
Yeah.
They do. I recently saw a documentary where they outed themselves that they weren't a real hip hop band, but they would rather do alternative pop with rap elements.
Absolutely.
But you wouldn't consider, or you wouldn't say that from your former career as an MC or rapper for Sans Unique, would you?
No, I remember the first time I heard about the Fantafir and I saw their music videos. For me, it was clearer that they were a kind of Beastie Boys band, which was not only hip hop, not strictly hip hop. But when we started, we were pretty much, perhaps more like, let's say, hip hop.
Yes.
But then also because we became in love of music,
Yes.
we tried a lot of things.
You influenced so many people after you. I mean, you know this, but I mean, we are quite the same age, and I grew up with Sans Unique, and so many other so-called hip hop bands. They copied you in a big way. Not to the big step. Not everything, of course, but you were so influential. I mean, that.
Well,
yeah.
thank you very much. But also because we were at the beginning. So, I mean...
You're always at the beginning.
And we were at the beginning, and we had the chance to have a certain success story. So, yeah, so then you become influential, for sure. And to be honest, we were not necessarily very good musicians. We definitely learned by doing it. And that's the magics of hip-hop.
Yes.
Hip-hop can be a teacher in your life, and it just shows you, just do it, and then you'll see.
You know, now these days are not to be missed, but they are gone, and future lies ahead. So if you're talking about your musical development, let's call it that way, you now have, I mean, this is a very mature album. To my personal experience, it has lots of flavors in, which is, in a way, to me, not so questionable, because you have also flavored or developed as a person. And now 2 years ago you met this. Was that 2 years ago when you met Mark Johns?
Yeah.
Was that 2 years? So how was that meeting, or that getting together? Getting to know this producer and guitarist and I mean multi talent. How did that affect the production of the album?
A lot, for sure, because I was looking for the right producer, and then Mark Chance, I made him because he did the music of a movie I was producing, actually a short film. Okay. I was producing this short film, and I had the main character in this short film. A short film directed by my wife. Mark Chance was doing the music. I realized how good he was just because he knew exactly when he had to stop the music and when the music had to start again, because sometimes musicians, they just want to put everything out there, which is not necessary. As Miles Davis was saying, why play too many notes when playing the right ones is enough?
It's more difficult to play less than more.
It's much more difficult. So then I realized that, and I said, I like this guy. And I told him my 20 best songs, my references.
Yes.
And he said, okay, I'm gonna send you some stuff.
Okay. So these were not tracks from you, that were other tracks?
Absolutely.
All right.
A lot of influences, like old stuff, like I don't know, Radiohead, Pink Floyd, Led Zepp. More modern stuff, like 2 years ago, FKA Twigs, Jungle. What else? I don't remember. Alt J. This kind of new electronica thing, you know. And he was like, yeah, well, I get the point. And he got the point, because when he started to send me some instrumentals, I was like, oh my God, this is what I want.
Yeah, that's something completely new, and that's towards the direction you want to go.
And it was exactly sounding like all these things I was telling to him. So there is a little bit of Massive Attack, there is a little bit of Pink Floyd, there is a little bit of movie soundtrack. Yes. I also gave him some soundtracks of movies that I love. Blade Runner, for example, Drive. And he got it, and he just sent me this music. So, oh my God, I found the guy. And you know, when you do music, it's very important to find the right partner. Sure. So yeah, and also because you know Permin Marty in Los Angeles.
Yes,
Permin Marty was helping me to begin this album, so he was encouraging me and sending me ideas, etc. And once he told me, why don't you try with this Mark Chance? He made the music of your movie. Try with him.
So
and I was like,
well.
I don't know. I mean, he's
really?
Swiss. And because it's
the Swiss diaspora.
He's a Swiss guy living in LA, but since quite a long time. And I was like, perhaps
I know another guy that's from Switzerland originally, living in LA.
Yeah, that's
it's
me.
quite successful character now, an actor. That's you, not only you. Yeah, you know, Miss Kvel is also living in LA or in San Diego. Are they living in San Diego?
Who?
He and her, Coco.
Yeah, they're living in LA.
They're living in LA.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Eliana was here as well for an interview.
Ah, yeah, great.
And so this is also in a way extended family here. So how did that come? I mean, this, by the way, that is my favorite track. The Riverman. I love it.
So the Riverman is very precise. There's a song of Nick Drake called The Riverman. I consider Nick Drake one of the greatest poets in music in the last 30 years. And this is a song my wife and me have been listening a lot. So when I started to do this journey, I went far away from my family. Not physically, but psychologically. Yeah. So slowly I was fading away. At some point I was, wait a minute, be careful. because you can do this solo journey, but don't forget you have people who love you, and they are here for you, and you should be there for them too. So I wanted to write a song for my wife, and I decided to call it The Riverman in reference of Nick Drake.
Okay.
And now the song is just talking about me asking my wife, why are you waiting for me? Am I worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really need me? Am I good enough for you, for your family, for your son? And then she's answering. In that case, it's not my wife, because she's not a singer. It's Coco. But she's answering, hey, no way, man. I'm not going to let you go.
Yes.
And that's what my wife was doing. She was not letting me go. And I went into big crises and big moments. And she was, I'm not going to let you go, you know. I love you, and you are the father of my son. I'm not going to let you go. And
beautiful story, beautiful sounds, beautiful songs. There's also one in Spanish which is called Aventura. I think, is that the second track? No, that was not the second track. That was produced by
Kauf?
By Kauf.
No, there's two tracks produced by
Yes.
Kauf. It's Ghost City and Disco Ball.
Oh yeah, Ghost City.
No, Ghost City, I'm sorry.
No.
No, Don't You Come Along and...
Don't You Come
Disco-
Along.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so but Aventura is also quite up tempo, and it's Spanish. So was that also important for you to have this reference to your mother tongue eventually? Or?
Not necessarily. When I started to write the album, I was not thinking, should I write it in English? Should I write it in French? Should I write it in Spanish? No, the musics were coming, and with the music, the thoughts of, this, I want to sing in French on this one, or I want to talk on this one. So Aventura, this kind of train that goes and goes, gives me this vision of an adventure, of like a very horizon line, an empty space where you just drive, but without even any suitcase. Your suitcases are empty, and because the song is it's one of the very positive songs of the album. I kind of heard it in Spanish. Spanish is good for positive vibes. So that's why it's in Spanish, actually. That's it. And I love the name Aventura. The name Aventura sounds better than Aventure or Adventure.
Yes.
Aventura is kind of, it sounds like a big thing.
Yes, it's very masculine as well. Aventura.
Absolutely masculine,
Yeah. So this is now a labor of love. This is your baby, your second one. So what is your heart wish, how people should receive this? I mean, I know that you said in previous interviews that you mainly have done this for yourself, which is very honest, which I fully can second. I can agree on that, because you are someone that doesn't need to make things just to make other people happy.
Yeah.
But still, that you have certainly some expectations how this album should be received.
Yeah. Well, I'm very proud of the album, so for sure, I really would appreciate if the people can understand what's behind this. And I'm doing my best for them to understand. And I gave my best. I found this artist in Norway who did this artwork, Antti Vuotila.
He's not a Finnish guy. I was thinking about a Finnish name.
He lives in Norway, but he's from Finland.
Oh, he's from Finland, but he lives in Norway. All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this guy, I never met him, and we've been speaking on Skype.
Yes.
And he totally got it. He understood the whole thing. So I really wanted the people to understand my world, my journey, starting with a chaotic puzzle and finishing with a very balanced Leal.
Yes.
And also now with the music video, I'm trying to make an effort to do a real good music video with a crazy idea and a very good director.
Yes.
The director is really good.
Yes.
So hopefully the people, if they understand this, they're going to follow me. I would be sad if nobody follows me, but I won't be sad if not everybody follows me. This album is a little bit more edgy than I used to do with Sens Unique. Perhaps it's more complicated. It's more, I don't know, complex. But if I have a small audience following me for real, because they get it,
much more worth.
It's worth it, you know. It's fine.
Sure. Thank you very much, Carlos, for your visit. I would have millions of other questions.
Thank you.
But
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, we don't have time. Or fortunately, we don't have time for you because you probably would like to go somewhere else and talk with other people as well. So thank you again for your visit. Congratulations on this great album, Reflections, LEAL. I'm going to change in German, back in German, because the outro is normally done in German. Also, meine Lieben, hier, LEAL, Reflections, ein sensationelles Album. Man muss es ein bisschen auf sich hineinlassen. Es macht auch nichts, wenn man nicht nur 3 Minuten Radiotracks immer hört. Der Carlos hat auch mal in einem Interview gesagt, so Zeug solltest du echt reinschieben und am Stück hören, wie ein Konzeptalbum solltest. Da gibt es ja viele andere Bands, die vor ihm schon auch haben, sich das gewagt und das ist dort genauso gut angekommen. Das war der Music Talk auf DMD2 Producer Tune und hitparade.ch. Heute mit dem LEAL, mit Carlos LEAL. Merci vielmals. Merci encore de tout cœur pour la visite.
Yes.
And don't forget, guys, jetzt komme ich schon wieder auf eigentlich ganz Krüsi-Müsi. Da oben ist ein Logo, wenn ihr da draufklickt, dann könnt ihr den Channel abonnieren. Übrigens, Carlos LEAL Channel kann man auch abonnieren. Und dann werdet ihr von uns wieder eingeladen, wenn wir weitere neue Talks haben. Mit spannenden Gästen. Merci encore.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.